All right, we're going to be beginning the story, The Bad Guys, today. This is the one that's based off the movie, and I'm going to try to do 15 minutes at a time, and you're just going to follow along as I read, and also if you can use your colored paper, that will help you kind of follow along and know what page. So we're starting on page 1, right here. The dinner was quieter than usual, considering there should have been the afternoon rush. As always, Wolf and his buddy Snake had gotten their favorite table, the very best window booth, and the service was quick, maybe even quicker than usual. They were just finishing up their meal, noisily chomping and slurping the very last dregs of their food and coffee, while debating an ever-important topic of conversation that came around exactly once each year: Snake's birthday. "Forget about it," Snake told Wolf. "Yeah," Wolf said, nodding slowly, "but it's weird." "Stop," Snake insisted. "Fine," Wolf said, wiping his mouth with one hairy paw. "I'll stop asking about it if you just explain it to me." Snake glared at his friend across the table. "This conversation is getting old," he thought. "There's nothing to explain," he muttered. He was tired of talking about his birthday. What he really wanted was to grab a nice, wiggly rodent dessert and get back to his favorite subject, the next bad guy. Going on to page 2. Heist. There was nothing he loved as much as stealing stuff. "Would you please drop it?" "Consider it dropped," Wolf said, holding his hands in surrender. "I promise it's dropped." He gestured to the floor and said, "It's on the ground." He looked at his plate, trying hard to let it go, but he just couldn't understand Snake's reluctance to talk about his big day. Birthdays meant attention and presents and friends and all kinds of other fun stuff. He snuck a peek at his pal and cried out, "But come on! Everybody loves birthdays. You've got decorations, balloons, parties, and cake." He smiled his most charming smile, but it wasn't enough to crack through his grouchy pal's sour expression. Snake hissed, "I don't need presents, I don't want decorations, and I'm not a cake guy." He gazed out the window, watching as people hustled to work and out for coffee meetings. Across the street was Snake's favorite view, the big bank, which was also known as the bad guy's next target. If there was one thing that could cheer him up, it was the prospect of stealing stuff. But Wolf didn't want to talk about that. His mind was stuck on one thing and one thing only. Heists are everyday affairs. Birthdays only came around once a year. "Seriously, though," he persisted, "you don't like cake? Name one food better than cake." Page 3. "Guinea pigs," Snake replied, without even having to think about it. There was just something about swallowing down his favorite rodent treat that made him feel so good. "Yuck, I don't know about you, that sounds disgusting." Wolf collapsed back against the booth. "Again, with the guinea pigs? Come on! I bet if I blindfolded you, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between a skunk and a guinea pig." "Wrong," Snake snapped back. "Snakes have impeccable taste buds. I can taste air." He stuck his tongue out, letting his forked, air-tasting tongue do its job. He could taste the syrup stuck to the booth a few tables over, and could make out the slightest hint of mushroom and bacon sandwich. "Air?" Wolf asked, laughing. Yes, air," Snake said haughtily. He stuck his tongue out again. Nice." But with another flick of his tongue, Snake suddenly tasted that the diner's soup of the day was obviously split pea. He pulled his tongue back in before he could get a bigger taste of that. "Guinea pig stew?" he could handle, but the smell of split pea was enough to ruin his appetite. "I don't know," Wolf said, draping one furry arm up and over the back of the booth. "Guinea pigs are just a little, cute for my taste." "That's what makes them so delicious," Snake said. "You're not just eating food, you're eating pure goodness. And it's not about the pig, it's about what it symbolizes on a deeper level." We're moving on to page 4. Get unstuck. Wolf nodded slowly, clearly considering this argument. "So you can actually taste air? What else you got?" Snake rolled his eyes. "Ugh, forget about it." Wolf looked excited about this new information. "It is always nice," he thought, "to get to know my buddy on a deeper level. That's what friendship was all about." "Can you also hear color? Can you see sound?" He leaned forward, his paws on the table. "Because you should really be capitalizing on these skills." Capitalizing means that you should be gaining something from those skills, using them to the best of your ability. Snake drooped in the booth, waiting for his friend's enthusiasm to run its course. "Fine," he said dryly. Get it all out. Get it all out now." Just then a muffled beeping sound came from somewhere nearby. Beep, 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 beep. Snake coughed, and an alarm clock came tumbling out of his mouth. He hit a button, silenced the beeping, and glanced at the clock face. "It's 4 o'clock. Now I know the exact moment our friendship died." He swallowed the alarm clock back down again. Wolf laughed. Snake could pretend to be a grouch, but Wolf knew there was a soft underbelly on him somewhere. Wolf patted the table. "Let's bounce," as they pushed their plates and coffee cups away. Wolf let his own long tongue, moving on to page 5, hang out the side of his mouth. He lifted his eyes to the ceiling and held up one finger. "It tastes like you're going to stick me with the bill again." Snake smirked. "Well, it's my birthday." "So now you play the birthday card," Wolf said, chuckling. "That's interesting." While they waited for the waitress to swing past, Wolf flashed a charismatic smile out into the restaurant, but then realized there was no one smiling back. In fact, there was no one sitting at any of the other tables, and none of the waitstaff were milling about the restaurant. It was like a ghost town. Wolf used his extra keen sight to take a closer look and noticed a group of women huddled behind the counter trying to hide. There were a few people tucked into a corner, very obviously hoping to not make eye contact with him. On closer inspection, he realized there were people hidden everywhere around the diner. It was always like this. People spotted him and his friends, and they hid like nervous prairie dogs. Wolf held up a finger, signaling for the check. "Check, please. Hello." He whistled and flashed another wolfish grin. "The checkity check." No one moved a muscle. He could feel the fear in the air. He guessed his friend Snake could probably taste it. "You know what?" Wolf called out to whoever was listening. "We're just gonna leave the..." I'm moving on to page 6. Oops, sorry, excuse me there, guys. "Money here. We're gonna leave the money here." He counted out a few bills, slipped them onto the table, but no one yelled out thanks, or sounds good, or acknowledged him in any way. Man, he thought, service is really going down the toilet in this place. "You know the one good thing about this place?" Snake asked as they stood up and started to head for the door. "What?" Snake shrugged as though it were obvious. It kind of was obvious. "We never have to wait for a table." "Isn't that every place?" Wolf reminded him. Snake turned to a group of customers who were who were cowering in a corner, hoping not to be noticed. He tipped his chin and said, "Hey, man, how have you been? I haven't seen you in forever." Then, for good measure, he hissed, "Snake attack!" Doing that always gave him a laugh. Before they got to the door, Snake hissed at all other losers huddled into corners and under tables. Everyone scrambled to hide deeper in the shadows, shaking with fear. "Oh," Snake whooped as they passed the front register. "Mints!" He swallowed the whole thing down, including the bowl. "Sorry, folks," Wolf called out to the other restaurant patrons, trying to make nice. They were criminals. The bad, page 7, guys. But that didn't mean they had to be bad guys. I'm switching him to decaf. Snake slithered to the door and pushed it open, exiting into the busy afternoon. "Okay," he called over his shoulder. "Let's do this." And that was chapter 1. Moving on to chapter 2.